Welcome back to another action figure review. In this review, we're going to take a look at the latest release from Hiya Toys. It is the Predator's Armored Crucified Predator. This is a 1/18 scale action figure, and this is the packaging that it comes in. On the front of the packaging, we do have some nice artwork on the top left of a side view of the Predator, a large window box showing the figure and his accessories. On the bottom right, we have a product shot of the Predator figure. And at the very bottom, we have the Exquisite Mini Predator's Armored Crucified Predator nameplate. And the bottom left, we have choking hazards for small parts for children on the age of 3. These are recommended for ages 15 and up. These are more marketed for adult to collector due to its severe fragileness. On the right, we do have the Hiya Toys logo. And the top and the bottom of the box is pretty much the same. We have Exquisite Mini Predator's Armored Crucified Predator. On the side of the box, Predators. There's a little bit of blood here at the top. Some artwork here at the bottom with the Hiya Toys logo. And the other side matches this side we just looked at. On the back of the box, at the top we have the 3 main more alpha type predators from the Predators movie. And we have this beside that, we have this warning, checking hazards, and age recommendations again. Hiya Toys consider these figures Exquisite Minis is a new standard setting series for 1/18 scale featuring super articulation action figures on the Hiya Toys. You know, that's up to your opinion. We have the social media stuff, the Twitter and Facebook information if you want to look them up. There's just below that we have the Hiya Toys company information, 20th Century Fox, all rights reserved, a UPC, and 2 product shots of the figure at the bottom of the actual package, as well as some blood stains. Overall, same kind of packaging we used to see from all their mostly all their products, from even their Aliens, Predators, Colonial Marines, and Justice 2, same type of box style. So let's go ahead and see what we got inside. Okay, so just inside here we have a backdrop. Looks like we have another one of those product insert that we're used to seeing. So here's the, you may have used that for your displays if you would like. Here is some product inserts. This shows you some of the other figures that are also available from Hiya Toys. If you want to go ahead and pause and read that or take a look at that, you can. It's quite dark, the images, for some reason. I'm not sure if they had a printer error, but it's really dark, especially up in here. So these come basically in a clamshell, just sandwiched together. That's what that looks like. It kind of looks like this figure is kind of light on accessories, in my opinion. Don't see any bladed weapons, staffs, bows, spears, throwing discs, anything like that. So we have a alien skull, some hands, and stand and attachments. There doesn't appear to be any tape. So we're just going to pull this top piece off, and let's take a look at our figure. Okay. So my first impressions of taking it out of the box was it feels different. It feels a little heavier. The joints, the chest looks a little tighter here around the chest, and it seems a little bit thicker. And then I kind of noticed if you look down into some, I think they have new joints. Look right here. There seems to be some kind of copper rings present throughout. But we'll take a look at those as we take a look at the articulation. But let's take a look at the overall appearance of the figure. Take a look at the head sculpt. So this Predator looks pretty decent. He has his traditional mask on. We have the dreads we're used to seeing, black dreads We have the copper beads throughout. All his dreads are individually sculpted and attached. It's really, really cool. He does sport that very large half backpack type shoulder cannon device here. It's pretty wicked. It's done in like a gunmetal with a black wash or some black dry brushing on it. He has a shoulder cannon here on his side. Looks pretty cool. Nicely detailed. It's pretty wild. If we turn his head sideways there, do you notice on the side of his face, his helmet / face mask is broken on the side. It's not broken product, broken as in sculpt wise. It's supposed to be that way. So you can see some of his face through the side there from the battle damage. That's a pretty interesting approach. And you can see that the one eye socket is broken out versus the other side of the Predator mask. So moving down, he does have a half piece here in the front of his chest that kind of matches the back half of his backpack. We have a strap across the chest. It's like a dark brown. Some of that gunmetal buckles here. There is no shoulder pad on this arm, but we do have a shoulder pad attached to this harness piece. This is all one piece here. So that moves with the arm. He does sport 2 shoulder gauntlets that is done in the same paint scheme as the shoulder cannon and backpack attachment with 2 blades. Right here. His hands that he currently comes with are opening hands. He does sport that fishnet appearance on his chest, arm, and his thighs. He does appear to have a silver protector jockstrap or a front piece guard. We have some armor on the sides of his legs. He does have the same kind of knee pads, and from the knee pads down to the ankle we do have some of that same gunmetal color for some guards, some armor here. He is barefooted. Bottom of his feet, 2 peg holes. The back of the figure, the bottom half, you can see that he has a brown sash on the back part, and the armor of his legs are completely 360 around his leg, which is nice. There's no straps or nothing. Very well protected on the lower end of the figure. So I had to do a pre-inspection of the figure. And yeah, you're going to have to heat this guy up if you get it. His joints are super tight, but if you apply some heat, you can get him to become very, very loose and playable. General play, I'm going to call it general play because you don't want to give this to a child. Of course, you can do whatever you want, but recommendations are for an adult with a gentle play or display or collectability for these figures. This is the figure from the movie that was attached to the tree when Brody, I think his name was Brody, in the movie, and he wanted to make a deal with the Predator. If he freed the Predator, he would then let him borrow his ship so he can go back to Earth. And, well, he let him down, and he picked up his armor and attacked one of the more alpha type Predators. Unfortunately, he did not win. So, they do have a unmasked version of this. Like, his appearance would be from being bound to that. I think they call it like a totem. So if you want that version, you can pick up the version that is directly from the totem. For me, I do enjoy the more armored up Predators more than I do the battle damaged or the unmasked ones. But when there's usually an option between the same Predator, in this case there is, a non-mass and a mass version, I always pick up the mass versions. I do like them better. And I'm not interested in buying two of the same figure just because the mask is on and off. It'd be really nice to see Hiya Toys to grow a little bit more and have to where you can remove the helmets and definitely improve on the quality of figures. But this isn't too bad. I think they're definitely trying here. I'm not sure if they hit it on the nail on the head yet, from my opinion, but I think they have a long way to go. But they're definitely looking into, especially the main problem of these figures are the joints. So let's take a look at the articulation so we can see what they've advanced to. So the head is on a ball joint. It does turn, and the mass will hit the shoulder cannon plate, and it will turn this way. Of course, I am not going to be forcing this figure, so you may get a more of a tolerance turn. But once you start turning in the head, you start getting the hair to drag on the backpack, which causes more resistance, which puts more resistance on the joint, and I'm not willing to do that. So moving down, his head will not move down pretty much any. You get a little bit of a movement, a little side to side, not much at all. Mainly, it's, that's your biggest movements on the head is the right and left. The shoulders are on the ball joint. They rotate 360. Okay, this arm, there is a 360 rotation here up the upper bicep. That is one of the points that I would always be careful with, because I believe that's one of the potential breaking points. So you can rotate 360. Moving down to the elbow, they do bend. For this arm, you're going to get almost a 90 on it, which is not too bad for these figures. So let's take a nice close look at these joints. So I know these are new joints. They definitely look different. Okay, so as you can see here, there is some kind of copper band in there. It kind of feels like metal. The joint looks thicker in the back here, and that's just the joint's thicker in the back, and there's some copper ring there, and you can see there's actually a different kind of articulation, because this comes out like this, up, and then you can see the arm go this way instead of it going straight up. That's definitely a new joint. But how durable these new joints, I don't know. They look to be thicken them up a little bit on the back side. But if you come around to the front here, it's almost like they have a single joint here instead of having like the double one. And then they have, this is part of the arm, basically a peg system where you have the peg and the arm comes in and collapses like that, and the pins go through. And they've put some kind of metal rings in there, maybe to enhance or strengthen up the joint. But we will see as time goes on through other reviews. To me, they seem to work pretty good after heating them. And they stayed pretty well functioning. So the wrists are still on the bicep ball. This rotates 360, that's it. And they're interchangeable. The blades here are retractable, in and out. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out of this thing close up. So that's pretty much those arm joints. That's definitely interesting that they're trying. So like I said, it goes 360 for the arm. They will go out. It doesn't look like they've changed too much on the shoulder joint here, but it seems to be more fluent. Maybe the tolerances are set better. They do seem like to be a thicker body. These are thicker arms for sure. There's no doubt. And they work pretty good. So this arm, we're going to go up about that far. But this shoulder pad is very flexible. So you can get a little extra But just know your range so you don't break your joints. And it will rotate 360 also until it hits the obvious aesthetic of the figure, the shoulder pad and the cannon. This also sports the same new joints. As you can see, yeah, that one, due to the gauntlet, doesn't look like you can get a full 90. This does rotate 360. Nice sculptor and color and paint on the hands, looks good. The chest here will do like a kind of a little crunch. It is definitely a tighter. There's not so much gappage here, but they do go back, forward, side to side. This is a waist swivel 360. If you desire, it's there. Needs to be heated some more and worked on. This is a problem I've had. This area here is extremely tight. I'm guessing you're not going to get much of a leg spread anyway because it's until it hits these side armor pieces. I haven't got the ability to get these legs to spread too far, so maybe I'm just using too much caution. But there's articulation there to move, the two different types of splits. Limited this way and probably get just a little bit more this way, but they're still fighting me, so I will continue to work on that for my own personal preference. There's a thigh rotation. Now, let's get to those knee joints, which is probably the second best thing that we can, problem that we usually have is the breakable knees and the elbows. But it's interesting on how these are designed. So you have nothing here on the inside. You have one single joint holding the two pieces together. You see those copper rings here. I'm not sure what they're going with. I haven't seen one of these joints outside of a figure, so it's really hard to describe. But they are thicker. Like, there's a gap here, but the front of it's thicker than the back, so you have this one piece. But let's look at the front of this thing. Watch these knees. You get great articulation. Let's take a look at the front. Never seen this before. This isn't Burke. Look how thick that is. If we take a look at the other one, let's see here if I can get it's just their new style knees. They come pretty far back. They're exposing these holes. But if you look at how large that joint is, we have the knee pad attached to the joint. Very interesting. I'm not sure what that looks like outside the actual figure. I'm really interested to do some research to see if those joints are photographed somewhere that you can tell. Sorry about that. I forgot to zoom back out. So to me, I think once you heat them, I think it's an improvement. I just don't know how much. They seem thicker and heavier. I still get the stiffness. They're on a kind of like a soft ratcheting. Like that just freaks me out right there because I wasn't sure what's going on here. You hear that? So as you hear, you gotta stop. So I'm not sure, but that's what those new joints look like. So the other articulation is the feet here. They do rotate 360 if you desire, and then you pivot down. There's no side to side, and there's a little bit up, like so, and then back to stationary. There we go. See, I'm not sure what's happening there, but you kind of let go. He's definitely, a definitely interesting figure. Definitely. Wonder if this is what we're going to see in the upcoming figures for the Alien versus Predator series that they're doing. Geez, I think they're doing like nine or so figures for the Alien vs. Predator. So I'm interested. They come on have one they call a Wolf Predator. Hopefully that turns out pretty cool. Overall, I know that for my figure, my copy, this shoulder joints work really, really well. The elbows and the knees would be like my third pick. My problem areas are the waist here and the crotch area, which is probably because I can't get too much heat down there because it's got all this in there, and I have to really take the time to sit down and see what I can get. So let's take a look and see what kind of accessories that he has. Just go ahead and dump them out. Okay, that one's stuck in there. Alright, there we go. So he comes with obviously the stand for the Predators, which is the mud stands, one peg. And then they come with these, I usually call them H and I bracket. That way no one's up, saying, oh, that's an H or that's an I. It's just a bracket that you can place anywhere on the side or the top or bottom, like so. And you can connect all your stands together. It also works with your Clone Marines, Aliens, and Injustice figures. So you can connect them however you see fit. He comes with 2 hands, and these appear to be more of a punching hand. Not sure where the other one went. There it is. Very, very small hands. And as you can see, there's like a little peg is pop them on. There's more punching. So, and the last accessory is this skull head that looks like from Aliens or a xenomorph type head. Same paint scheme from the other skulls that we've seen that was included with the other figures. Looks pretty cool. Lower jaw piece. I kind of wish like in the movie you can put it on the arm for. I think it was the first Alien vs. Predator movie. The female lead in that movie used it as a shield type device. Not too bad. So if you create a display for Predators, you can, if you have a good many of them, and probably have a good collection of skulls, you can create a skull room, a trophy room for your Predators, which would be kind of cool, I think. So he looks to be kind of on the shorter end, in my opinion, from what I'm used to. Maybe not. So this is how he scales with a Joy Toy figure. This is how he scales with an Asarine figure. And this is how he scales with a Halo Infinite made by Jazzwares, Master Chief. So it looks, he's definitely in right proportions for the 1/18 scale. Looks really good. So these things run. They're just being released here. I think their release date was April 28th, 2021. And my pre-order just came in for. He's been on pre-order for a long time. I actually forgot about it. Kind of just showed up on my doorstep. They're $19.99. The prices haven't increased yet on this figure. My first impressions, it was kind of like plain to me. Lacking the accessories that we're used to seeing. But then, once I got out of packaging, he did have some unique features like the Birkin mask. He does have a shoulder pad. He doesn't have any weapons, except for his gauntlet there, which is 2 blades. It's more of just a basic type Predator. Pretty cool. Interesting about the articulation and the joints. Do I recommend it? I guess, yeah. I mean, because if you are collecting the Hiya Toys Predator lines, you have most of them. You're not gonna be, let down. You're gonna have the same impression basically. if you do have most other Hiya Toy Predators. Definitely just going to be interesting to see how these joints work out, you know, as they get used, and let's see if they show up in future Predators. I'm really hoping that these guys improve like other companies have been improving, such as Joy Toy, Acid Rain. They are continuing to improve on their figures. So, because we need these small companies to produce 1/18 scale figures and characters that we're not going to get. Let's just be honest, we're not going to get from Hasbro or anybody else. So, hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next review.